What is your vision for an ideal city or utopia?
You should have everything which is beautiful in the world. The setting and the architecture of Paris, the Palace of St. Petersburg, you should have, but I think above all, it should be flowing, it should be, the traffic should be better, the transit should be improved in order to, for all of that to continue to live in harmony for a long time.
So we think that cultural events make a good city.
Like TIFF.
They're fun. Sorry. TIFF.
We also think that shopping and restaurants and the nightlife here in Toronto make a good city.
My ideal city would probably be very diverse in exotic foods. I'm a big fan of different cuisines, so definitely a lot of sushi and shawarma restaurants.
Instead of like having brick houses and everything, we should have like tree houses. They'll be all connected by like rope. Okay. That'd be a lot more fun and nicer and easier.
I also really like roller coasters. Yeah.
I love the variety in the building, in setting. I love the diversity and how tolerant people are, which is very, very refreshing in these days. What I don't like, I don't know a lot of things. I mean, maybe too much traffic and the roads could be improved. Apart from that, I think it's a nice place to live in.
My ideal city would be one that's well connected. That's not necessarily by transit, but whether that's highways or roads or bike paths. But basically, if somebody can go from home to school or home to work in an easy route, whether it's from one neighborhood to the other, then in my opinion, that's an ideal and perfect city then.
I think one important thing that a city has to have is really good transportation, public transportation for people. Especially since we're trying to lean towards a greener environment. For GTA, for example, I know they're working towards it, but the public transportation needs to be better in terms of like subways and stuff like that. And it needs to be cheaper also, because the way it works out now, honestly, to get downtown, it ends up being just as expensive, if not more, to use public transportation than to just drive and park yourself, which doesn't really make any sense.
My vision for an ideal city is about accessibility. It's probably a long wish list of items, but there's a reason why that is. My vision for an ideal city is transit accessibility, and accessibility more generally. We need accessibility outside of the downtown core so that people can access transit from all over the city. We also need accessibility for transit and outside of that for people requiring mobility devices. I'd also add social housing to that list. It could go on much longer, but these items are politically charged and there's a reason why they are.
One that is well developed to accept things so that there's no overpopulation. There would be proper living areas with lower noise. It's kind of, we don't have to sit and listen to all the traffic in the middle of the night. A city where there'd be a multi-generational, multi-international group of people.
Évidemment, on recherche peut-être pas en premier, mais les monuments, hein, ce qui est particulier à la ville. Hein. Par exemple ici, bon, vous avez la Tower,
CN Tower.
le symbole hein, de la ville. Paris, la Tour Eiffel. Alors, il y a des lieux symboliques comme ça. Et puis ensuite, les quartiers spécifiques. Celui-ci, par exemple, on découvre, c'est charmant, hein, on a envie de rester un petit peu là, c'est original, oui, très original, coloré. Oui, et l'ambiance aussi, hein, l'ambiance qui règne là.
To me, the city is good for that. Yeah, for all the art, like from different parts of the world and very good artists, nice food, a lot of like fusion food, and the music is great. You can have like different kind of music, still local music, but good, and from local artists. So yeah, that's to me is the big city, like nice and comfortable.
I'm more a fan of open spaces, but then again, the lights are also kind of fun and set a nice tone for downtown Toronto. I think that it's also nice to go to the waterfront and to Toronto Island and enjoy that part of our city.
It's got a good mix of both, I think.
I think it's also important for us to use our harborfront as an attraction. It's one of the great things that we have. It's a beautiful lake, so the fact that we have like a highway by it isn't really something I think is important. I think it could be used a lot better.
If there's no garbage in the city, it'd be more good. Pick up all the garbage and
So I say no pollution, a better handle on the recycling and garbage issues that we have, and probably a city that celebrates the different cultures that we have in Ontario, and probably a city that isn't built on condos, because that's just overpopulation.
I think ideally there should be high densities. You got to prevent urban sprawl because, as they say, that's unsustainable. Urban sprawl is unsustainable. And so I guess in terms of carbon emissions and cost, the best bang for your buck is to have a high density city surrounded by farms, say, and yeah, don't ruin the countryside.
Entrer dans une petite épicerie, oui. Et puis le jeune homme qui était là était bon, charmant, nous a parlé tout de suite, a donné un plan. Il y a des échanges qui se font. Très, je ne sais pas si c'est canadien, mais ça c'est très agréable.
For us, the ideal city is a city where there's a lot of social cohesion, where people know each other and everybody talks to each other. When there are a lot of activities organized by the community or by the people themselves, where there's not a lot of anger, but everybody is very tolerant. So I think that's a start for an ideal city.
Well, that's an interesting question because there's obviously literature in utopian cities, but today you're looking at cities that perform well with depending on the size, but you want good public transit in a large city, you want full employment, you want good social programs, support all the needs of the people, because even though people are employed, they may not be fully employed all the time. So you have to have a city that functions well from all perspectives, social, economic, transportation movement, and all those various factors. I'm not sure there is a perfect city today, the ideal, but the idea about planning is to move towards those directions.
This isn't the first time this question has been asked. Frank Lloyd Wright's vision was that people have a right to their land. His view was autocentric and that people should live on big lots with big family homes. Le Corbusier's vision was that cities should be dense and bring people upward into high-rises in order to maximize green space at grade. Howard's model was the Garden City. He thought that residents should have greenery everywhere and that no town should be larger than 30,000 people in order for democracy to flourish. All three concepts mention characteristics of an ideal city, but which is the ideal plan? Well, the idea of an ideal city is subjective. There is no such thing as an ideal city. That's like saying there's an ideal flavor of ice cream, or to complicate things further, an ideal combination of ice cream flavors. So, what do you think?